Welcome back to another solo podcast. Now, it's been a while since I've done one of these. Now, rationale behind that has just been really busy with client work. Coaching business is extremely busy at the moment, which is awesome, but that obviously has to take priority over Q&As, obviously. I got these questions last week. I was going to do it. Like I said, I've been very busy. So getting at it now, I'm going to be time stamping everything today so it's a little bit more professional moving forward. Oh dear. Update with me from last week. By the way, I've just had some vitamin C chewable things. That's why I'm like, nice actually, yeah. Orange flavour. Anyway, so update of me. I've been deloading this week. So what are we today? Thursday. So Monday was deload. Tuesday was deload. Wednesday obviously deload. Today was cardio. So my off day cardio. With some calves and some abs. So how I'm running my training split moving forward is going to be 5 days a week. I no longer can recover from 6 days, to be honest, with how hard I can train in the gym, with the intensity that I can elicit in sessions. I can't. I simply cannot. I cannot train 6 days a week. So I was getting round to the Thursday, the pull, and I just couldn't be. I just couldn't. I didn't have it in me to go in and like have any energy. I just felt shit. And then Friday was okay because it was legs, it was alright. And then Saturday session was just awful. The quality of the work was just dreadful. And I was like, okay, well, this is not good. This is not acceptable. So obviously making alterations moving forward, 5 days a week is all I can recover from when I'm training at when I'm training this hard. And like, I'm the strongest I've ever been at the leanest body weight. So like, the stronger you get, your ability to recover from basically you can't. The stronger you get, the less volume you can technically manage. Obviously, the harder you train and the more intensity you can elicit, the more damage you're going to inflict on the muscle, which means recovery from that's going to be harder. So I just can't do push-pull legs. It's just crazy. Like I just can't. I don't know. I genuinely can't do it. I could when I was prepping, when I wasn't really progressively overloading, but now I'm overloading and I'm trying to. And I'm actually training, like, there's definitely people who can train harder than me, but for me, I think I do believe I can train pretty hard. And I'm working on that. I'm always going to be progressing that. I do think, like I said, there's people who can train way harder than me, but again, my ability to train hard is getting there. Like I can train decently hard. I can elicit a good intensity now, and I'm quite accurate with how I'm activating and executing with my execution now. Like I've almost revamped a few moves, just being honest with a few things. Like I've had a lot of shoulder issues in the past. So pressing's always been a bit like, oh, okay, where am I going to go to with this press? And it's like, and I look back at the video and I'm like, yeah, I mean, I'm moving 50 kilo dumbbells, but my range could be better. So I've just, things like flat dumbbell press, I'm just taking it through its biggest range. Shoulder press, high incline dumbbell press, biggest range. Hack squat, I brought my feet low on the platform and I'm taking my quads through a huge range, which I'm not gonna lie, guys, when I did that, my quads were sore for like 6 days. Like seriously, 6 days. So just being honest with where I'm with my execution in the gym, and almost just stop trying to, I don't know, just like satisfy egos potentially for me a little bit with the weights and just be honest. Because I'd rather progress my lifts in a fashion that's accurate rather than just throwing around weights and thinking, yeah, it's good, but reality is the range of motion's not good, and I want to be bigger. I want to be a bigger bodybuilder, so I need to take things through its largest range, and then once I've nailed that, then we can overload, then we can progress. Like that's it. Like that's the name of the game. You can't just add load and then the form gets worse. Like, have I done it before? Yeah, absolutely. That's why I've addressed it, and I'm not like have no shame in saying that. Like that's where I'm able to look back at myself as a bodybuilder and a coach and be like, okay, cool. Well, we can make this better. And then moving forward now, I'm executing my moves way better. I'm getting, in fact, after doing my hack squats like that, my legs, I'm not even joking with you, my quads look like, I don't know if it's because I've lost a load of fat, but my quads look ridiculous actually. Last night when I got out like the shower, I had and this morning I looked at my quads, I was like, fuck. Like, I don't know what, but like, holy shit, that is sweepy as hell. like the vastus medialis area, like around the knee, is just like crazy thick. And I didn't have that like a few weeks ago. I don't know if it's because potentially I lost some body fat and I lost fat around the knee, so I look more sweepy. But I just feel like they're way better, my quads, after doing that couple of times, like with proper range of motion. And same with my chest, like taking a dumbbell from here to here, then pressing, rather than just doing this and then almost pressing with my triceps, in a way. So yeah, I think I've learned a lot over the last few weeks, and that's obviously awesome. Like, you know, moving forward, I think I'm in a good position to really maximize everything. Now, another bit of an update with me in regards to like my weight. Like, I'm actually around 172 pounds, which is really cool. My food's up. I feel good. I feel awesome. I feel fit. Like, I'm doing cardio. I'm performing some CV work 4 or 5 times a week, and I'm really keen to keep that in because I just genuinely feel like good. I don't feel fat. I don't feel unfit. I don't feel sluggish. I don't feel lethargic ever. And I'm able to create conversations with people and speak, and without taking breaths in between. Like when I was like fat, I was like watching small videos back while I was doing check-ins, and I was like breathing in between speaking, like after one word. And what the hell is that? Like I do think that being fit will offer a diverse amount of benefits. You know, when it comes to weight training, like I can do a 15 rep set and a hack now without just breathing like a fucking massively obese guy. Like obviously I'm not saying I was obese, but like the way I was breathing was just not good at all. Like I don't know, like I would wake up and when I was like 195 pounds, I'd wake up in the morning, I just didn't feel rested at all. I don't know if like when I was sleep on my side, like maybe I wasn't breathing properly because I was just had so much body weight. Um, and considering my weights over a year, I've kind of fluctuated from 146 pounds to 195. Like that's a fucking huge shift in body composition in like 8 months. So my body was probably like, whoa, what the hell is going on here? Which was like, shit, okay. Potentially that's not the best thing. So obviously we dieted, we've lost 194, 172. So we're looking at like 22 pounds, which is awesome. Body weight, body composition's tidy as hell. I think I look okay. I think I look decent. I'm happy. You can see like in my face as well, like visually I don't look fat. I don't look bloated. I look kind of almost, take these off, you can see I look a bit more healthy, like not just bloated as hell. I just felt unhealthy, to be honest with you. And don't get me wrong, I will get back there at some point, but in a slower manner. I don't want to just add weight. Okay, cool. Let's add body weight. Why? Why? Like, why? Like, let's add weight sensibly, you know? Let's add it when it's warranted. Like, if I'm getting stronger and I'm gaining, 0.5 to a pound every 2 weeks, that's sweet. That's perfect. Like, a pound a week, 2 pounds a week, is that muscle? No. Is it? No, it's not. If I was on steroids and I went on anabolics now, maybe. If I was a new lifter, maybe it could be muscle. But is that muscle? No. Could that be body fat? Maybe. Like, do I want to maximize this phase? Yeah. Do I want to diet again for another year? No. No, I don't actually. I want to, obviously, it's May now, basically. So I don't want to diet again for a year, to be honest. I want to be gaining now from the whole of the year. Next year, obviously I want to gain again, so I don't want to diet. Maybe one more time before I prep for a bodybuilding show, but ideally let's just keep that shit just away. I don't want to diet anymore. Like I don't want to be in a calorie deficit. I'm not going to be growing, so we need to make sure that we're maximizing a surplus. So if you're gaining too much weight too fast, don't. Be strict with your off season and your gaining phase. Like I wasn't. Like before Christmas, I was just eating shit. To be honest, like shit all the time. I don't know what I was doing. I was just over consuming calories and but I'm gaining. Yeah, but you're gaining fat, mate. So what's the point? Gain quality. Gain quality. Don't gain just a load of shit because you feel I'm gaining. Yeah, you're gaining, but gain fucking sensibly. So that's a little bit of an update with me. I'm feeling good at the moment, feeling motivated. I'm feeling the most motivated I've ever felt in my life. I've got body power coming up. I've got clients competing, prepping 14 clients this year for stage. My obviously business is booming, full with coaching, to be honest. Membership site being launched at the end of the month. Content, need to find a videographer in Brighton that I can trust. So if anyone knows anyone, let me know. And yeah, all's good. Really feel awesome. Feel motivated as hell. Got some personal stuff going on, which you guys may know from just following me on Instagram. But that is what it is, These things happen, and it's about how we deal with those and how we deal with those situations. And I think to myself now, I'm not a kid anymore. I'm 25 this year, so I think I've developed a lot from obviously coaching. My ability to coach people has become, I think, fucking good, to be honest with you. I think I'm able to really, when I'm coaching now, I'm able to really think to myself, how does that individual feel? And show some empathy towards them in that moment based on how they are feeling, not my perception of what I think of that. It's how they feel in that moment, and I've really developed over the last 6 months when it comes to my ability to coach and manage really well, and that's why I think I've done so well coaching wise, because I go about my days with a genuine care and passion to just do my fucking best in everything that I do. And when it comes to my coaching and coaching my clients, like, my ultimate goal is to just ensure that they are happy with the process and they are getting the results that they deserve to be getting. And I think when you understand that your goal is really not money driven, and I absolutely don't give a shit about money or like financially, like what I earn or anything like that. My sole goal when I get up in the morning is just to be the best I can be, and just offer a service that makes people feel happy and makes people feel part of a community and team, and part of my brand. And like little things like today, I've ordered a load of hoodies for all my clients. Like literally, we're not for everyone, because not everyone. Pretty much everyone. Pretty much everyone. So 40 plus hoodies, and it's like, that's going to cost me a lot of money, but I didn't even think about that. I couldn't care less. Like, I'm getting, like, with printing and like the logo and shit, like getting like 40 plus of them with different sizes, different sizes, different colors. But like money, for me, the satisfaction in delivering that kind of service and expecting nothing in return, and seeing genuine happiness on those individuals' faces when I said, like, a couple of them asked how much it cost, and I was like, mate, you're joking. Like, you're representing my brand, and I'm fucking proud to have you on my team. And that is what and why I do this, because I was able to create some happiness between myself and that individual in that moment. And they, it makes people step back and think, oh shit, like, you've actually not charged me for that. Fuck, I must mean something to you, right? And absolutely, that's why. Because everyone I work with, if you'll know, if you're watching this and you work with me, that the connection that I want to build with every one of my clients is extremely deep. And it's not, okay, cool, here's this, let's speak in a week. It's not how I work. It's like, I want to make sure everyone's happy and making progress. That's my ultimate goal. And just ensuring that is the passion. I'm trying to go about my day, and just ensuring that I'm living my job and doing it from the perspective of just being extremely passionate about coaching and bodybuilding. And I think that will shine through other aspects of your life, be it business, be it your attitude towards training, your attitude towards other things. And it's almost made me reflect a lot recently about how I act and how I behave in certain situations and specific moments. Like, there's a few times where I've acted in a certain way in the past, and I look back at that now and it frustrates me. But again, we're on this planet to be an evolving person and human being. That's why I do this, because for me, this kind of goal of being the best coach and the best bodybuilder I can be is absolutely endless, and it's never ending. You can always pursue better and pursue giving better and giving more, and being able to understand things from other people's perspective better, and understanding how they actually feel in that moment. That makes sense? But it's very deep. This, I don't know. This has been going on for a long time, so I'm going to get into the questions. But I just wanted to give you a bit of an outlook for where I'm at, like mindset wise, and I hope that all makes sense. Obviously, if anyone has any questions, just hit me up on Instagram, guys, and I'll be sure to sort of obviously answer every question that I get, provided it's not a stupid question and people just take the piss. Anyway, right, let's move on. Let's actually get into the Q&A. So, Jesus Christ, that was 15 minutes on me. Let me write that down. Okay, so first question, let's jump straight in. So we've got Harry Lamb, my client. So this is, do you think Harry is in a good position? I'm not writing this down. I didn't realise what the question is. Yeah, I do, Harry. I think you're in a fucking fine position, mate. I think you're sound as hell. So yeah, man, you know I do. I think you're absolutely on the money with where you're at, position-wise, when it comes to competing this year. So yeah, that's not the first question though. So JDF Fitness. So my friend Joe. So 16 minutes. So one thing you wish you knew when you started. Let me write this down. So I want to make sure that you understand everything that I'm doing. I never write. Jesus, my writing's not good. Okay, so 16 minutes. So one thing I wish I knew when I started, probably the biggest thing I wish that I understood better was being patient but being driven at the same time. So accepting that things take time to come to play, like pan out essentially, but not letting that kind of mindset from okay, cool, let's be patient, but being patient is okay and working really hard, but being patient and just being lazy, different things. So I think being patient, but being really eager to sort of learn throughout the processes at which are what you're doing in that moment. So I think patience. I wish I was better at understanding that patience is key, but whilst being patient, being extremely vigilant and learning everything throughout every single process that you do. So patience, but being aggressive with your learning. That's probably the biggest thing, mate. So 17:27s. Getting pretty good at this now. So Daniel Marshall. So when to refeed? Okay, so let's write this down. Everyone loves refeeding, don't they? It's a big topic at the moment. It's not really that much of a big topic actually, but it's a decent topic. So when to refeed? So first off-season refeed? No, definitely not. Now, when would I add a refeed in with a client? Now, this is dependent on the individual and why I would add it in. Most of the time, it would be for someone who is training really, really, really hard, getting decently flat, and seeing potentially performance drop off a touch, and running flatter than I would like, essentially. So obviously, when you're thinking about running flat in a dieting phase, you are going to see your training performance potentially drop a little bit. Thus, loading that you're lifting could go down. Performance essentially on a whole could be worse. Intensity could be worse. So we want to essentially try and protect performance as long as possible whilst we're training, because performance is going to be our training performance is going to dictate the amount of muscle mass that we are able to display on a bodybuilding stage or any sort of stage. So feeding up when you need to, I think is very advantageous for a wide diverse of benefits, mainly being performance and being able to see what you look like reasonably full with a few more carbohydrate in you. So I tend to go in at least sort of 12 weeks, at least 10 to 12 weeks. I got actually just implemented one in with Jenny, my client Jenny. You'll follow her, she's awesome. If you don't follow her now. She's fucking cool. So I've actually just implemented a refeeding with her. Now she's been dieting for like 12 weeks. She's lost a lot of body weight. Again, like a learning, something that I've learned by coaching Jenny with her is I think that, like looking back at her start position, she was fucking strong. But I think that maybe starting a bit too heavy, which is something that, again, I've learned a lot, but you could argue that she has, but she's she also built a tremendous amount of tissue in that phase. So it's kind of like, there's, you know, you play around with it. Like, obviously, for loads of my clients, one of my really good clients, Ismail, good clients, one of my clients I see a lot, Ismail obviously started quite heavy, quite out of shape, but the muscle mass that he gained in that period was like, fuck, okay, cool. So I think refeeding after at least 10 to 12 weeks, when you see a slight detriment in performance. Now, until then, I just don't see the need. Now, make sure that it's based on a decision that's not emotional. Now, I'm tired, I'm hungry. No, that's not really good enough. Like, I think refeeding when you need it from a physiological perspective, be it I'm flat, this is a bit too sucked down, my training's getting shit, then we'll look to feed up. I think as well, from the literature out on refeeds and higher carbohydrate days. Now, obviously, we know high carbohydrates are superb for getting rid of any sort of fatigue when it comes to dieting. But it does show in studies, actually, I'll see if I can link one below. But I read something on, I can't remember what fucking website it was now. But I read something about refeeds and higher days eating whilst obviously in a dieted state. Obviously, you suppress hormones, leptin, ghrelin, when you diet down. So you actually need anywhere from 2 to 5 days to actually see any form of response. Now, do I think you're going to get that in 2 days? Probably not. I think a diet break would make more sense. So refeeds, I think, are good. I think they're good. I think they're a tool to use. I don't think they're the be-all and end-all, though. It's a difference between them. I think if you're going to look to get any sort of physiological benefits and, you know, benefits from a hormonal perspective when you're in a suppressed dieting phase, I think anything from 3 to 7 days or 3 to 14 days of higher carbohydrate eating makes more sense. But short term, it can allow you to see how you look with a bit more fullness, for sure. But again, I think that it's very individual dependent and very dependent on where a client's currently at in their fat loss phase. If that makes sense, dude. So I hope that makes sense. So that was 22 minutes. Sweet. Right, let's move on. So question, Charlie Bolton _PT. So what is your why? What gets you out of bed to continue doing what you're doing? So good question. My why, honestly, is just the never-ending pursuit of just being better in everything that I do. You know, being a better bodybuilder, being able to train harder, being able to provide a better service for my clients, being able to be more understanding, being able to be more empathetic about how people feel in specific stages of their life, being able to put myself in people's shoes and see how they feel in that moment and understand how they really feel. I think my biggest motivation daily is just being better, just understanding and accepting that there's never going to be a point in my life where I think, fuck, I know everything. I'm far from that position, and I know there's so much for me to learn. And everything that I learn, I take on board with an open mind of, okay, cool, well, this is awesome, but I'll keep my mind open for like slightly better thought processes about what I've learned. So previously, if you asked me this a couple of years ago, I've learned something and I may be like, this is absolutely gospel, nothing else counts, nothing else matters. Now, I learn and I think about how I can apply that to myself and my clients, and then I'm able to, you know, actually translate it into a practical perspective with people, and then obviously make appropriate changes as and when needed based on responses. I think the biggest thing that motivates me is just making sure that I'm being the best I can be, honestly, and just being so motivated about waking up and just being the best person I can possibly be, being the most understanding coach, being able to train that bit harder, being able to learn that bit more, being able to just make people happy, being able to provide a service that people feel proud and privileged to be like, okay, cool, like this guy actually fucking cares, and he's putting in a passion, he's putting in passion, care, motivation, knowledge, and he's creating a community through his Instagram and his clients, and you're able to see like that kind of what's the word, like that kind of aura kind of come off me and my clients. Like that's my goal. My goal is to just be the best, like literally the best I can possibly be. And the idea of never being able to be the idea of being able to continuously improve, that is everything to me, to be honest. I'm just writing down the next question. So hope that answers your question, mate. So that was 24.50. So right, next one. So Jake.Barkley, what age did you start training? Good question. Let me write this down. 2 seconds, mate. Okay, so what age did you start? I actually first entered the gym when I was 16 years old, and I didn't take it seriously though. I first entered the gym when I was 16 years old with the goal of just building some muscle and getting some abdominals. That's what I wanted. I was always obsessed with the midsection. Funny that, because my midsection is shit. Shit. But 16 I started. I didn't start progressively training until I was like 20, to be honest. Like 2017 January probably. And I believe that was the answer to the question. How long have I been training for? Yeah, so about 2 years, to be honest, mate. Not that long, to be honest with you. So hope that answers your question, mate. So my client Jenny, what would a refeed differ for bikini girl for bodybuilder? It really wouldn't differ that much, actually. Let me just make sure I timestamp this. Okay, so my thoughts behind this process are the difference between a male guy and obviously a male guy, a male and a female for me, and what I see is that females tend to be really stressy dieters, way more than males, like way more. Like, you know, the amount of times I can count on one hand, I've got a message saying the scale weight's gone up, and then like really like freaking out about it. And to be fair, it's not just females, it is males as well, for sure. But I would say the difference is that females stress a lot more. So I've actually added in, and I like to see females when they refeed to do 2 days and 1 day usually on a non-training day. Now, that's exactly what I said to you in your check-in today, dude. I said, obviously, have the first day. I want to let me know how you're feeling, and then let me know how the physique, kind of how you feel the physique looks, and how you feel like you're responding in that moment based on feedback that you're giving me. And then we'll most likely add in a second day. You remember I said that to you earlier. So I think a lot of it comes down to an individual and how much they stress. I think females tend to stress more, from what I've seen anecdotally working with females. Females stress more than guys. And we've got to remember as well, like bikini girls, for example, bikini girls have less muscularity than bodybuilders most of the time, unless you're looking at a younger bodybuilder. So I think trying to almost eat up to see a physique full as a bikini girl, it doesn't really make too much sense, because how full can a bikini girl get, really? I mean, how full can they get? Like, fullness is going to be dependent on muscularity, right? Bikini girls haven't got that much muscle. They haven't tend to got like tons of muscle. They've got lovely shape, balance, symmetry for sure. They can get really nice condition, and I think that looks absolutely awesome. But muscularity wise, it's never going to be like, okay, cool, we're a bodybuilder here. So I think from a perspective of looking at a female and just making sure that they're managing their stress levels, and providing them on track with body composition and being in shape, I think double day refeeds tend to be far more beneficial for females and males. Now, a double day can be absolutely fine for a male as well, but just because I see females stress way more, so having 2 days of higher food can almost alleviate that completely, because males just don't tend to stress as much, and that's what I've seen. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. I believe that was the whole question. Let me just load the iPhone. I need a new iPhone, actually. Yeah, so that answers your question, dude. So 29. So another one from you, Jenny. So how much did you abuse caffeine in prep? I didn't really. So So I didn't, to be honest, I didn't really abuse caffeine that much. I was just having the usual shit, which was a coffee in the morning, which I have now. And I was having a pre-workout, which I have now, to be honest. That's all I was having. I wasn't having anything else. Yeah, I didn't really abuse it. I think people tend to have... I was never really a fan. And when I was prepping, I never used to have diet drinks. I always used to feel like they made me look worse. I didn't like how they made my midsection look and feel. I just felt like I looked worse after diet drinks. Like, funny enough, like now, probably I'm having more caffeine now than I was having when I was prepping, because I just really like Monsters. I just like the taste. Like, the white one, I just really enjoy that, and I'll have one of them a day because I like them. They make me feel good and they taste good. Like, I have a coffee in the morning every day. That's just normal. And I have pre-workout most days. That's fine. That's what I do. That seems to be good with me. Never causes any problems. Yeah, I don't like sit down in the evening though and just keep drinking coffee or drink coffee throughout the day whilst working. It doesn't work like that. I usually have it because obviously I usually get up and do some form of activity in the morning, be it a walk or cardio. So coffee for that, it kind of just fueling that. And then if I have my Monster, maybe while I'm having my pre-workout meal, and then pre-workout on the way to the gym, it's kind of like all for usage, rather than just for no fucking reason, just sitting there drinking it. I don't do that. I wouldn't like sit here now and have coffee. Doesn't make sense to me. So I usually have it for a reason, so performance. Okay, hope that makes sense, dudes. But I didn't abuse it though. I never really was the goal to abuse caffeine whilst I was prepping, because it makes no sense, does it? All this stuff on adrenal fatigue, and people say all that kind of shit, but there's research on that which is pretty much zero. If you want to watch a good YouTube channel on that, go and look at Biceps and Banter, Mike and Dan. Both fucking awesome people. I love them. I actually love those guys. So, moving on. So, CWC Fitness. Absolutely peeled CWC Fitness. So, what is your overall training philosophy? So, let me write this down. So my overall, by the way, CW Fitness, man, I fucking love this guy. He's one of the really good guys in the industry that I absolutely adore, to be honest with you. Like, I fucking love Connor more than anything. Actually, he's a fucking awesome guy. Like, where I'm at business wise, like if I can't work with a certain client because of just being full, like Connor, they're going to Connor because I spoke to Connor. Like, there's so few people that I fucking trust in this industry, to be honest. And Connor's one of them. I think he is a top guy. I absolutely love Connor. So I'll see him at Body Power. He'll be competing against my client as well, which would be cool. So, but Connor's peeled, man. Connor's peeled, and he's got obviously AJ as his coach, which is, you know, I don't need to say anything about that guy. His work ethic and results speak 1,000 words. So don't need to blow smoke up his ass. You guys already know what I think of him. So obviously my best friend. So what is your overall training philosophy? So my overall philosophy is always just to make sure that I'm enjoying everything that I'm doing when it comes to training. Now, training in a manner that I enjoy. So I like training with the approach of, okay, cool, we'll load and then we'll do a high range set, and usually doing less work but keeping intensity just absurdly high on a scale, 10 out of 10 intensity. I don't enjoy training sub max work. I don't like leaving reps in reserve. I don't enjoy that. Like, perhaps at some point, like I was even talking to one of my friends over there about this. I was like, well, if reps in reserve would make my physique better, yeah, and training in that kind of approach and manner, would I do it? No, I wouldn't. Actually, I'd actually choose to have a worse physique and train in a manner that I enjoy training. Do you know that? I'd rather have less progress and train how I love to train, and what motivates me every day about getting up and going to the gym is how I train and the intensity that I can elicit when I'm training. And like that, the moments before set, I'm just like, fuck, like I absolutely adore then how it feels, guys. I fucking love it. That's why I do it. That's why I train like I do. Favorite intensity amplifiers. So I mean, I think you mean like methods, i.e. drop sets, rest pause, work. I love a rest pause. I absolutely love a rest pause. I don't like drop sets because I find that the loading becomes just stupidly low. But I don't tend to sort of add many variables when it comes to amplifiers, so like intensity methods. I look to just train 2 work sets usually per movement and just take the set all the way there, and that is enough intensity wise. I can't really do any more than that, because if I do, I'm just eating into recovery for my next session, bud. But I know you train the same. I know you love to train how I train, so I hope that makes sense, mate. But we need to train soon, dude. I can't wait to see your body powder as well, man. I've seen photos. You're looking absolutely peeled. Peeled. Don't expect anything less from you, mate. So, Alistair Nichols, this guy, again, unbelievable guy. Fucking unreal. So, if you're not following him, why? Seriously, why? Because he's such a fucking awesome guy. So, how to deal with clients struggle track calories. Okay. So, that's a good question. So, how would I deal with that? I would usually, first off, I would try to ensure that they're having. I assume you're meaning like a decent beginner when it comes to training, because most people I coach aren't like complete beginners, so that they kind of know where their calorie intake's at and they know how to track their calories. But I would say track protein via meals first before you look at calories. So I would look to track protein first, and then look at calories after they have an understanding as to where their protein intake's at. How to deal with clients who struggle to track calories. So obviously, just if they're really struggling, you could look down a meal plan route for sure. But I don't like them. I really don't, because I see poor adherence from meal plans personally when I've made them, which I just don't make anymore. I just don't do it because they just don't work. From what I've seen, they just don't work. Like people are never going to eat 7 out of 7 meals every day and the same thing. No, they're just not. It's not going to happen. Like, you're going to have a day where something changes. Like, life happens. Come on, like, meal plans don't work. Of course they work if you can adhere to them, but adherence is king. And if you can't adhere, they're not going to work. Hope that makes sense, mate. So moving forward, but I would look to, if they really don't understand it, meal plan, they'd have to adhere though. But if a meal plan doesn't work, then protein, thinking about just having a certain amount of protein per meal, or just making sure they're eyeballing it, and then we could go down looking potentially just calorie route, which you could give them a rough guide as to how many meals per day that you would expect the client to have, if that makes sense, mate. So when you try and unlock your phone and the thumbprint doesn't scan, you're like, what's going on then? So Luke, what is your opinion? My opinion on teen bodybuilding scene. My opinion is I don't really see many of them. Now, I've had a few younger guys. You, Luke, you're one of my clients. I coach you and I coach Lewis, and you fucking awesome guys, man. Like, you adhere like better than I've seen other people adhere who are, got 10 years on you. I see people just thinking they're going to compete and thinking they want to compete and they want to train hard, but reality is they just can't stick to shit. So I think I don't see much of the teen aspect now when it comes to bodybuilding. Obviously, I've got some younger clients, but they're not competing as teens. They're just my clients who are young individuals. I think it depends on the mindset and where they're at. I just think like I've got you, I've got Luke, I've got Kieran, who's fucking awesome, and then I've got Lewis, who's awesome. So like, I think you guys for sure, like, I'm actually in a position realistically now with you lot who, if you were to compete next year or the year after, like, fuck, if you would do really well because you're so fucking consistent. But I don't see many other teen competitors really. I don't really see many of them at shows anymore. I don't know why that is. I'm not sure. Maybe because people are just gaining for longer, which I think is not a bad idea at all. So yeah, I hope that makes sense, matey. 39 minutes, that. Wow, it's a long podcast. If you watch this, you're fucking awesome. So I'm going to I've got 2 more, and then I'm going to wrap this up. So, how to focus more, timestamp. Come on, Jack. Don't fuck this now, because you've done actually right here. So, how to focus more on my workouts mentally. I often find myself daydreaming in the gym. So, First off, why are you in the gym? What's your why? Like, why are you in the gym? What's your reason to be in the gym? Like, are you actually motivated, or are you doing it for the wrong reasons? Like, if you're genuinely motivated, I can't, kind of a hard question for me to answer, because if you're not motivated, you're not going to be able to focus. So why are you in the gym? Like, you know, you have to have a why. Like, what is your why to train? Like, my why is to be better in every aspect of my life, and I'm able to channel a lot of emotion into my sessions. Like, why are you training? What are you getting out of it? Ask yourself that question and then tell me, because I can't tell you that. It needs to come from you, bud. I can't give you any sort of advice on that. You need to sit down with yourself and think to yourself, okay, cool, like, why? What are we trying to do here? What are we trying to achieve? That's on my honest thoughts, okay? So, moving on to the last question. So, Muscle Monster Hull, best mass builder for bis and tris in your view? So, in my opinion, my honest opinion here, my humble opinion. One sec. Okay, so my opinion would be, I think a dip probably for the triceps. So a dip, a close grip Smith press, or an overhead dumbbell press. So not dumbbell extension. Sorry. Anything where you can load, because you know loading's king. Muscle damage is king. So focus on like anything that you can load on for your tricep. Like a dip is probably my favorite approach for a tricep mass builder. But I love a close grip Smith press. I don't really do them at the moment. But a dip for sure, probably. And for biceps, I like an EZ bar curl, because again, you can load it on the eccentric. You can actually load a decent amount. But again, like, you got to think to yourself, how am I going to fully contract my bicep? Now, when you want to contract your bicep, you want to think about being able to completely supinate. So EZ bar, you're here. So if you think about a bicep contraction, this isn't a full bicep contraction. A full bicep contraction is here and then here with elbow flexion. So a barbell curl technically would and should provide the biggest contraction, and probably the most amount of loading. But again, is that working for your arms? Maybe not. If it doesn't work for your arms, maybe a preacher curl. But again, this depends on what you can progress and what you feel good doing. Okay? So, that's pretty much everything. 41 minutes. That's not bad going, you know. So I'm going to get this up for you guys tonight. Thank you so much for the questions, guys. I'll get one of these done again next week. We have background to Friday, so we've got legs deload tomorrow, and then we're back in for Saturday for upper body session, which is a full session. So 5 days is all that's been needed. Very excited to train again. Hope you guys have enjoyed the podcast. Any questions? Fire. Also, print screen this, put it in a story. Right, cool guys. Have a great day whenever you're watching this, and lots of love.